Okay, my dear children, today we are going to start with one more very crucial lesson for midterm examination. So, my dear children, so when you studied this MCQ of this lesson, I suppose you can get a lot of benefit and all your doubts will be clear. Before starting with directly with the MCQ questions, it is better that we understand some of the term and what is the theme of this lesson, that also let us discuss in brief. So my dear children, so here let us see the theme of this particular lesson is the plight of the street children. Plight means what? The plight means the pitiable condition. Pitiable condition. Whose the pitiable condition we are talking about? We are talking about the pitiable condition of the street children. So when you consider about the law is of course enforced in India, but this law doesn't seem to be respected, and because of that we are talking about the universalization of the primary education, isn't it? We are talking about the universalization of the primary education. We are talking that education is free up to the 14 years of age. In spite of all this propaganda, in spite of all these rules, what is seen is that the condition of the children in India is very miserable. Why? Because they suffer from the major problem with the children is the poverty. There is the grinding poverty, okay? There is what type of poverty? Grinding poverty, okay? This poverty that actually crushes people, C-R-U-S-H. They crush the people, okay? And this is the miserable condition of the poverty. And because of this poverty, what they are forced? They are forced to take a particular profession. They are forced to take a particular profession or a particular work, and this work is not respected in the society, and as a result, when you do not have the respect for a particular profession or a particular class of people, then it is called the stigma. So what we see when you consider particularly the slum area, okay, when you talk about the Bengal making industry in Firozabad, then we can see how pitiable the condition of the children are. So this why it is pitiable? Because they cannot raise the voice. Why they cannot raise the voice? If they try to raise their voice, then their voice is done what? Their voice also is crushed. Their voice also is suppressed. Their voice also is suppressed. Suppressed by whom? Suppressed by many of the leaders, many of the policemen, many of the bureaucrats or the lawmakers. So because of this, their conditions are never solved and the condition remains the same, and therefore in this particular lesson, the writer Anish Jung, who was a champion of the poor, brings the pitiable condition to the limelight so that it is given attention, and once for all this problem is solved. It is solved in the beginning itself before it takes a very dangerous shape. So my dear children, so let me tell you some introduction about the lesson. The story Lost Spring, written by Anish Jung, revolves around the pitiable condition of the poor children who are forced to live in slum and work hard in very dirty conditions. The story is divided into two parts. The first verse tells the writer's impression about the life of the poor ragpickers. So when you talk about the first part, so in the part number 1, we talk about what? We talk about the condition of the ragpickers. We talk about the condition of the ragpickers, and this is represented by ragpickers actually represented by whom? Saheb. Okay, is represented by Saheb. So his name is Saheb Alam. So his meaning of the name is the Lord of the universe. But in reality, his name is quite paradoxical because his name does not conform with the meaning. Just the meaning is a very ironical. Meaning is just the opposite. He is a pauper. Pauper means he is having no penny too. He is not having a single penny to survive, to sustain his life, to survive or to sustain his life, to lead his life, Therefore, his condition is very pitiable. So, this is talked about in part 1. So, the writer Anisa Jung was a good observer of human being and their condition, and she was observing very minutely the condition of these people. She also had the first-hand knowledge of these people just by talking, just by gossiping, and also just by knowing many of the other things, just by reading books pertaining to their origin. Therefore, we again in the first part, the writer's impression also about the life of the poor ragpickers also told, who are migrated from Bangladesh but are now settled in the outskirts of Delhi. Name of the place is Seemapuri. So, have you heard of this place? Name of the place is Seemapuri. Seemapuri, earlier it was a wasteland. Okay, it was wasteland, means this was a not fertile land, fertile, fertile land. It was not the fertile land, it was a very barren land, barren, barren land, means there is no production, and this particular area are occupied by the ragpickers whose profession was ragpicking. And the writer also talks a lot about the ragpicking, why they actually indulge in this sort of business, why they do not wear any chappals. So what is their attitude towards education? All these things are very beautifully delineated or explained by the writer. Now, when we talk about the second part, in the second part we understand that it narrates the miserable life of the Bengal makers in the town of Firozabad. So, my dear children, in the part 2, when we are talking about the part 2, it talks about the what? It talks about the Bengal makers. It talks about the Bengal makers. Bengal makers, you already understand. So, Bengal making industry in India is Firozabad. Firozabad is a very much famous. Firozabad in which district? So, Firozabad is a district, and what is the name of the state? Name of the state is Uttar Pradesh, UP. Therefore, in Uttar Pradesh, these people actually live, and their life is so miserable. And this second part narrates the miserable life of the Bengal makers into the town of Firozabad. The story talk about the miserable life of the two children whose spring or childhood is lost in misery or poverty. Therefore, in this second part also, what we notice is that there is some sort of loss. Some sort of loss. What is the loss? The loss is the childhood. Loss is the childhood. How this childhood is described? In metaphorical terms. Metaphorical means metaphor. Okay. One thing actually stands for another thing. Okay. One concept actually stands for another thing. So, childhood is in a metaphorical or indirect manner is described as what? As a spring. Why? Because you see, metaphor also is what? Metaphor also is a figure of speech stating what? Stating the comparison between what? Between two different objects, and the writer actually wants to do what? Wants to make some comparison, state some comparison between two different things. And here also the childhood and the spring has a lot of affinities, a lot of similarities. Okay, the point of similarities. What are the point of similarity? Yes, the season of spring is a new season. Okay, it is a very what? It is a very joyous season. Okay, It is a very carefree season, carefree season. So in the similar manner, child actually does not know any kind of worries, okay, any kind of worries. He doesn't have any kind of fears. So he is all the time, he is hopping, he is jumping, and he is enjoying his life just like the spring of life. Therefore, this spring, the spring is lost, means childhood is lost. Therefore, in order to tell the childhood, the writer uses spring in a metaphorical term. I suppose you also understood the title of this lesson. Therefore, we have had some of the warm-up questions, introduction, and also the theme of this lesson. So, having completed this part, it is better that we go to the MCQ questions now. It is time for going to the MCQ question one by one and explain it. Therefore, let us go. Here we continue. Let us continue with Eden English presented by K. Jalal. So, here we start. Let's go. Okay, my dear children, let us see the first question, and the first question is related to the biography of the author. So this is very simple. So we are talking about what? We are talking about the writer. Name of the writer was Rijam. Where he was born? She was born in Rourkela. Where it is? Rourkela is in Odisha. Therefore, and it is a particularly famous for steel industry. Isn't it? Steel industry in India. Therefore, this is a famous place where the writer was born. Let us go for the option. Who is the author of Lost Spring? Who is the author? James Bond? No. Arundhati Roy? No. Sudha Murthy? No. Anit Jung? Yes. Therefore, let us go to question number 2. Here we go. Let us continue. Question number 2. The story is an excerpt from which a book of the author. Now see, we have already discussed about this one. Excerpt from means the particular book from where this particular lesson is taken. Therefore, that is called the extract. So the answer, you see, the Song of India, no. The Breaking the Silence, no. Unveiling India, no. That means that the correct answer is Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. Because here we are talking about what? The childhood. Therefore, this is the correct option. Correct answer. There is no doubt about it. Only thing is that here, up to this part, you have to know the data, you have to know the biography, you have to know the origin of this story. Let us go for next question, number 3. What does the author analyze into the story? Now see, what is the analysis that is made? Analysis. This is the noun form, analysis. So, what analysis does the writer make in this particular story? Let us see. What is that? We all already understood it. Rich people, no. He never dealt with rich people here. Some indirect reference is made. Garbage, no. What is the use of garbage? So, he will be talking about a man. She will be talking about man. Therefore, you will see poor children and their exploitation. Yes, exactly. Okay, the kind of the exploitation. So, what is the meaning of exploitation? Exploitation means if somebody is sucking, okay, somebody is taking the advantage of you. Okay, somebody is sucking your blood. Somebody is taking the advantage of you. Advantage, okay, of you. That is called the exploitation. Therefore, in this particular lesson, the lesson actually deals with, means this is pertaining to the theme of the lesson. Therefore, the theme is based on the poor children and their treatment and the exploitation that were meted out to them. Let us go for question number 4. Can you continue? Let's go. Question number 4. What is the central theme of the story Lost Spring? Central theme, as we know, is central means central. Theme means the idea, okay, main idea or the gist, okay. In other word, you can tell it essence. तो आपको ये याद रखना चाहिए. Therefore, what will be the answer? Pitiable, poor children and their lost childhood. It seems to be exactly correct. Then let us see other part. Garbage. Saheb and Mukesh, no. Spring season, no. So spring season has got no value if there is no human being to appreciate the spring. Therefore, there should be some observer, there should be some spectator, there should be some man to appreciate the spring. Then only it will have the charm, charisma, it will have the magnetism. Okay, then let us go for next question number 5. Let us go for what forces the children to live a life of exploitation. Let us see this question. So the question arises. So somebody will tell what forces. This forces. This is the verb form. Means the meaning of this one is what compels. What compels means what is the kind of the compulsion? What is the kind of the compulsion that they have? What is the kind of the compulsion? They are hungry for what? They are hungry for food. तो आपको ये मालूम है कि for a hungry stomach, S-T-O-M-A-C, stomach, food is what? Food is God. Food is God. है ना? तो फूड का इतना महत्व होता है. तो इसीलिए therefore you see they did not have what? They did not have the food. And because of this food, because of the food, in search of the food, in quest of the food, in quest of the food, what they did, they were compelled to do any work. They could not do any kind of dignified work. They could not do any dignified work. Why? Because they did not have any education. Okay, why they did not have education? Because they did not have money. As they did not have money, they could not pay the fee of the school. Therefore, they could not go to the school. And more particularly, the children were the partners. Children who said what? They were the partners. Partners in where? In the survival. Into the game of the survival. In the game of the survival means they had to support their parents in search of the food. Therefore, what was the compulsion? Therefore, now we understand that the compulsion, no, greed was not the compulsion. Okay, parents, so okay, only little compulsion was there. If the parents are very rich, then they will never compel. Peer, no, this peer actually peer have the pressure, of course, but peer. So if they are rich, if they can provide, if they know the information, if the parents are educated, certainly they will go for school. Therefore, there should not be any peer pressure in this case. So what is that? The extreme poverty forced them to lead a life of what? Lead a life of the ragpickers or the Bengal makers, and therefore in this way they got exploited. Let us go for next question number 6. Let us go for it. Question number 6. According to the author, what was the garbage for the parents? ये देखते हैं हम, या अभी हम देखेंगे ये गार्बेज का. अभी आपका जो लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन आएंगे उसमें भी आपको लिखना होगा गार्बेज एक्चुअली. ओके, सो गार्बेज because of this particular profession, when this profession was a pursuit, pursuit for a long time, it actually assumed to what? It assumed just like the art, or it become just like the art. Therefore, the meaning also was different. Okay, so adult has different meaning and the children has a different meaning. What is that? So for you see, according to the author, what was garbage for the parents? Parents means the what? The adult. For what? The adult what? So adults are more concerned with what? With the food. With the food. Therefore, that means food is the means of the survival. Let us see the option now. According to the author, what was the garbage for the parents? Means of entertainment? No, there is no question of entertainment for them. Okay. मीन्स ऑफ जॉय नो, मीन्स ऑफ सरो नो, मीन्स ऑफ सर्वाइवल ये जीवन जीने के लिए है ना। वो क्या था, एक जरिया था। वो जरिया मतलब ऐसा जरिया था कि ताकि दे कैन सेटिस्फाई देयर स्टोमक, दे कैन सेटिस्फाई देयर belly, they can satisfy their belly. Therefore, let us go to question number next. Question number 7. Shall we continue? Question number 7. According to the author, what was the garbage for the children? Yes, for the children. Now see, so we have already discussed. So for the children, so it was a what? It was something different. उसमें क्या है? So what is there inside it? So you cannot understand. Suppose there is a letter, है ना? There is a letter. So when this letter comes to you from your father, from your friend, okay, then you get what? A lot of excitement. Until and unless you unbox the letter, so you are not happy. Therefore, what is there? There is a lot of excitement. There is a lot of enthusiasm. There is a lot of encouragement. There is a lot of encouragement. Therefore, what you do? Let us see. That is also the case with that is the case with the children. The children are so curious to know what is the content of it. Therefore, let us see the option. According to the author, what was the best for the children? Means of entertainment? No. Means of time pass? No. Means of playing? No. Means of it is a wonder. Exactly. It is a wonder. It is an astonishment. Astonishment. ये क्या था? ये सरप्राइज था, है ना? एक सरप्राइज था. सो इट वाज अ काइंड ऑफ इट वाज अ सरप्राइज. और सरप्राइज मतलब क्या था? WRAPPED, रैप्ड था. माने ये दिस वाज कवर्ड. क्योंकि व्हाट इज देयर इनसाइड द गर्बेज दे डिड नॉट नो, एंड देयरफॉर दे वर scrounging the garbage in search of, in quest of what? The rapt of wonder. Let us go to question number 8. Next question. Who was the Saheb? Very simple question. Very literal and textual question. A shopkeeper? No. A servant? No. A ragpicker? Yes. He is a ragpicker who belonged to where? He belonged to Seemapuri. Where was the Seemapuri? Seemapuri was at the outskirts of Eastern Delhi. Okay. So we are talking about Seemapuri. Then let us see what is the Saheb looking for. ये देखिए, looking for का मीनिंग है these are phrasal verb. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Verb plus preposition. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? phrasal verb बोलते हैं. तो इसका मीनिंग क्या हुआ? मीनिंग का मतलब है SEARC, सर्च. सर्च का मतलब क्या है? ढूंढना, है ना? सर्च का मतलब क्या है? ढूंढना, है ना? तो उसका और एक थोड़ा स्टैंडर्ड मतलब टाइप का वर्ड है quest. Therefore, so साहिब ने क्या ढूंढे थे? तो अभी हम देखेंगे. So he was searching for egg? No, never. He was searching for toy? No. Searching for coins? So little answer, okay, little truth in is there in the answer. लेकिन क्या है? उसमें इतना सारे मतलब उसमें सरप्राइजेस थे कि उसको मतलब ना गोल्ड के साथ कंपेयर किया गया है. That means he was searching for some valuables, something very wonderful, very much astonishing. Okay, so that is a compared to gold. Therefore, the answer will be option B. Let us go for next question number 10. Let us go for it. Is Saif happy working at the tea stall? So what is your opinion? He was happy or unhappy? Certainly he was not. He was not, because of what he lost. He lost the carefree look. Therefore, that means earlier when he was carrying the bag, this bag actually belonged to him. Now he is carrying what? He is carrying the canister. Canister means the particular pot for carrying the tea. Now he is working in the tea stall. Therefore, he lost what? Even though he was getting to the salary, yet he was not happy because he has lost his freedom. Therefore, let us see the option. Is Saif happy working at the tea stall? Yes, ये तो exactly गलत है. यस ही अर्न्स मनी, ये सही है, लेकिन मतलब ये मतलब हैप्पीनेस के साथ मतलब जोड़ता नहीं है। नो अर्निंग, अर्निंग वाज देयर ऑफ कोर्स, ये तो बराबर गलत है। नो अर्निंग बट नो फ्रीडम, ये देखिए एकदम सही है। हाँ, उनका अर्निंग तो हुआ था, वो मतलब सही, वो मतलब ना सही मतलब से वो हैप्पी भी नहीं थे। उनका अर्निंग था, अर्निंग के लिए वो खुश था, लेकिन उनका जो मतलब फ्रीडम लॉस हो गया, उसके लिए वो बहुत नाखुश था, वो मतलब बहुत दुखी था। Therefore, option D, no earning but no freedom, means lost freedom. Therefore, let us go for question number next. Next question. Why did Saheb Alam not go to school? Saheb Alam not go to school. So, what is the opinion? Very simple opinion. So, it is related to what? The fee, money. Not interested. He was very much interested. He told to whom? The author. So, if I open a particular school, so are you interested to go there? Then he said, yes, 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 madam. And then the next time he met Anisujjan, then he also asked madam about the opening of the school. Then madam understood, madam Anisujjan understood, okay, how hollow the promise was. Okay, this is a promise that was made by the author. Okay, was as hollow as the hollow promises made by the politicians. Therefore, let us see, why did Saheb Alam not go to school? Not interested, ये नहीं है. Had no money to pay for, ये exactly correct है. Wanted to go for movie, ये भी नहीं है. Wanted to earn money, ये भी नहीं है. Therefore, he was very much intended to go to school, but he could not afford to pay the fee, and therefore he did not go to school. Now let us go to question number 12. What is the meaning of Saheb Alam? ये तो बहुत सिंपल है, ये अभी हम बोला. So Saheb e Alam, आलम का मतलब क्या है? धरती है, मतलब यूनिवर्स. साहिब का मतलब क्या है? साहिब का मतलब है लॉर्ड. Therefore, Saheb Alam means Lord of the universe. Therefore, the answer Lord of the universe, D option is correct. Other options are incorrect. Let us see next question. Let us go for question number 13. Where is the Saheb employed? Let us see now. Very simple. At a tea stall in Seemapuri, exactly correct. At a sari shop, galat. At a jewelry shop, galat. At a sweet shop, galat. Let us see the next question. Why is the author calling garbage as gold? ये देखिए, है ना, GARBAGE, garbage is almost equal to gold, है ना. ये almost का साइन है, मतलब ये गरवेश और गोल्ड एक एकदम फर्क है, लेकिन इसमें क्या है, देयर इज सम पॉइंट ऑफ सिमिलरिटी. उसीलिए मतलब क्या बोला, ये मतलब क्या है, दिस ए कंपैरिजन. ये कंपैरिजन में दो चीज को मतलब क्या किया, कंपेयर किया इन ऑर्डर टू फाइंड द सिमिलर पॉइंट. और इसको, ये जो कंपैरिजन है, इंप्लाइड कंपैरिजन, पॉइंट ऑफ सिमिलरिटी स्मॉल, इसको मतलब क्या बोलते हैं, आप समझ गए ना, पक्का समझ गए. देयरफॉर, why is the author calling garbage as the gold in the story? Because of jewels in it, jewels तो नहीं हो सकते हैं. Because of gems in it, gems कैसा हो सकते हैं. Because of gold in it, gold तो उधर नहीं थे, है ना. Because of its encashment value, देखा है, encashment value. आप जब मतलब गार्बेज को सेल करेंगे, है ना, गार्बेज को सेल करेंगे, तब आपको क्या मिलेगा, कैश में आपको मतलब क्या मिलेगा, आपको मनी मिलेगा. You will be getting the money. That means you can encash. You can encash what? You can encash what? The garbage. Therefore, it is compared to likened to. It is a compared to the gold. Let us see question number next. What do the boys appear like to the author in the story? ये जो है देखिए, appear like मतलब ना देखते हैं, मतलब क्या है, दिस ऑल्सो काइंड ऑफ कंपेरिजन. अगर लाइक वर्ड रहते हैं तो कंपेरिजन में क्या होता है, वो मतलब उसका नाम होता है सिमिली, है ना, सिमिली होता है. तो इधर मतलब क्या है, जो बॉय है, बॉय को मतलब किसके साथ कंपेयर किया गया, मतलब कुछ चीज के साथ कंपेयर किया गया, और वर्ड लाइक यूज किया गया, उसीलिए मतलब उसको क्या बोलते हैं, सिमिली. व्हाट इज द पॉइंट ऑफ द सिमिलरिटी? लेट अस सी, लेट अस मेक इट वेरी क्लियर. व्हाट ऑफ द बॉय appear लाइक टू द ऑथर इन द स्टोरी, है ना. ऑथर के मुताबिक, अनिल जान के मुताबिक बच्चे को देखने में कैसा लगते थे, है ना. सो देयर वाज द सैक और द बैग ऑन देयर बैग, है ना, ऑन देयर बैक. सो देयर वाज बैग, है ना, देयर वाज अ बैग ऑन देयर बैक. And with that, what they were doing? They were scrounging. They were flying from one place to another and appeared like the bird. Let us see. Morning crow, no. Evening crow, no. Morning birds, early morning birds. इसको मतलब ऐसा लगते थे कि वो early morning birds है. मतलब पहले before the people getting up from their bed, they actually went to the area and they collected the garbage, and in this way they got their money, and therefore they are compared to the morning birds by the writing. Let us go for next question. Question number 16. Let us go. Name the birthplace of the author. ये बहुत सिंपल क्वेश्चन है. देखिए ये रूरकेला है, उनका जो बर्थ प्लेस है हमको पहले से मालूम है ना. उनका जो बर्थ प्लेस है वो रूरकेला है. रूरकेला इज इन उड़ीसा, है ना. Not Koch, not California, not USA, because she is an Indian writer in English, and therefore she was born in Indian state of Odisha, not in California or the USA. What does the title Lost Spring symbolize? ये जो symbolize है, इनका meaning आपको पहले से मालूम है. Symbolize का meaning है stand for, means it represent, it indirectly states. तो Lost Spring जो है ना, अभी हम जब टाइटल का मतलब जो डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया है, so at a time we were just discussing about that. So it talks about what? Spring actually talks about what? The loss of the freedom, loss of the childhood, lost blooming childhood. Exactly correct. Autumn season नहीं है, autumn season नहीं है कि ये spring season ही अलग है, autumn और spring बिल्कुल अलग है. Lost memory, lost money नहीं है, lost age नहीं है. Therefore, option A is correct. Saheb hailed from which place? Now see, when the people migrate from one place to another, so what is the region? Normally what is the region? The calamity, है ना. तो जो calamity होता है वो क्या होता है? This is the natural calamity. वो natural calamity होता है, उसी के कारण मतलब क्या करते हैं आदमी, यहाँ से उधर, इधर से उधर क्या करते रहते हैं? माइग्रेट करते रहते हैं. So particularly when you are talking about Dhaka, when you are talking about Bangladesh, then it is actually is a particular place full of rivers, and during the time of the monsoon, so the almost all the areas are inundated or fully flooded, and therefore what happened? Their only source is the government. And when the government failed, the people migrate to other places. Therefore, so they hail from which place? They hail from the green field of Dhaka. That is the answer. Let us go for question number 19. Let us go for it. Question number 19. Why did Saheb go through garbage dump? So उसको बोलते हैं, ये देखिए. So going through, आप when you are going through, हम आपको बोलते हैं कि मतलब गो थ्रू द बुक, मतलब आप बुक को पढ़िए, रीड बिटवीन द लाइंस, है ना. आप थोड़ा गहराई से मतलब पढ़िए बुक को, है ना. सो पीछा टाइप क्वेश्चन में हम आपको बोलते हैं. तो अभी ये जो हमारा जो साहेब है, सो साहेब ने मतलब क्या करते थे? ही वाज गोइंग थ्रू द गार्बेज. दैट मींस ही वाज स्क्राउंजिंग, SCROUNG, स्क्राउंजिंग. वो एकदम ना थोरोली मतलब सर्चिंग, SEARCHING, searching thoroughly. He was searching thoroughly in order to get some valuables there. Therefore, let us see the answer. Why did Saheb go through the garbage dump? To find a silver coin? No. A rupee? Okay. ये देखिए. So why did Saheb go through the garbage dump? To find a silver coin? ये ना, ये सही है, partially सही. और क्या मतलब चीज मतलब वो ढूंढ रहे थे ये रुपी, कभी कभी उसको रुपी भी मिलते थे, वो भी एक सही है। ये 10 रुपी नोट, वो भी सही है। तो अभी ना लास्ट जो है देखिए, इसीलिए एज ऑल द ABC आर करेक्ट, देयरफॉर ऑप्शन डी इज वेरी करेक्ट। लेट अस गो फॉर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। लेट अस गो फॉर द क्वेश्चन नाउ। अब ये क्वेश्चन देखते हैं, व्हाई डिड सैफ लीव हिज हाउस? लीव हिज हाउस, उनका जो मतलब घर थे, कहाँ थे? ढाका थे। So the Dhaka is a very beautiful place, very beautiful, okay, beautiful place. But in spite of that, why he left his place? Because food is more important than the beauty of the place. Therefore, they left the place because they suffered what? The natural calamity. What is the calamity? We are talking about the calamity was the storm. Because of the storm swept away his house and field. उनका जो हाउस था, उनका जो फील्ड था, वो तूफान ने मतलब क्या किया? उसको मतलब शूट करके लेके चले गए। टू एंजॉय ए लाइफ ऑफ लेजर, नो, टू फाइंड फ्रेंड्स, नो, टू गो टू कॉलेज, नो। देयरफॉर लेट अस गो टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। व्हाट फोर्स साहेब टू बी ए रैगपिकर? ये तो बहुत सिंपल क्वेश्चन है। ये पहले मतलब हम डिस्कस किया है। व्हाट आर द एक्चुअली फोर्स? What actually stress? STERESS stressed, क्या चीज मतलब उनको मतलब जोड़ दिया था कि मतलब आपको रैगपिकिंग ही करना है, क्योंकि उनके लिए मतलब क्या था? फूड मतलब इंपॉर्टेंट था, क्योंकि मतलब वो बहुत गरीब थे। तो देयरफॉर हार्ड वर्क मतलब उनको फोर्स नहीं किया, तकदीर मतलब उनको फोर्स नहीं किया, पीपल अराउंड हिम भी फोर्स नहीं किया, लेकिन उसका जो गरीबी है, एक्यूट टाइप ऑफ गरीबी, acute poverty or SEVERE, severe type of poverty that compelled them to the profession of ragpicking. Let us go to next question. Next question number 22. Here we go. Let us continue question number 22. Where is Seemapuri? बहुत simple सा question है। सीमापुरी कहाँ है? सीमापुरी is in the outskirts of Eastern Delhi. In Noida also is the bordering area. It is in UP, but it is in outer part of Delhi. But this is not the correct answer. We are talking about the particular place where there is full Islam area. So it is in Eastern Delhi. Okay, not North Delhi, South Delhi or Noida. It is in Eastern Delhi. है ना? Why did Saheb leave Dhaka? ये तो बहुत अभी डिस्कस किया है। Because of the lack of the food, because of lack of resource, ये नहीं है, because of the friend, because of the parents. Let's see the next question number 24. Who are responsible for the poor condition of the Bengal makers in Firozabad? Now we are coming to part 2. We are coming to part 2 of the Lost Spring. So we will be talking about what? The part where Mukesh is the hero. Mukesh also belongs to the Bengal makers. Now let us see who are responsible for the poor children of the Bengal makers in Firozabad. कौन मतलब responsible है? Parents वो तो responsible कुछ हद तक है, society बहुत हद तक है, bureaucrats और the law maker. Bureaucrat का मतलब है law maker कौन होता है? जो मतलब बहुत बड़ा IAS ऑफिसर होता है ना? They are the part of the making, okay, lawmaking or lawmaking process. Therefore, see, ये भी correct है, B भी correct है, C भी correct है. Therefore, correct option is D, all of this. Now let us go to next question number 25. Here we move. Let us continue. Question number 25. What efforts can help Mukesh materialize his dream of becoming a car driver? So what is that? What is the effort? What effort? We are talking about the effort or the trial. Okay? कोशिश, क्या कोशिश मतलब मुकेश को करना है ताकि मतलब वो उनका जो मतलब ड्रीम है उसको मतलब क्या कर सकते हैं? रियलाइज कर सकते हैं। उसको REALISE रियलाइज कर सकते हैं। उसको मतलब क्या कर सकते हैं? ट्रांसलेट कर सकते हैं। ट्रांसलेट कर दे मतलब उसको वास्तव में परिवर्तित कर सकते हैं। Therefore, अभी देखते हैं हार्ड वर्क, उसका तो ऑप्शन ही नहीं है, वो करेक्ट है। गोइंग टू द गार्बेज, ये भी सही है, गोइंग टू द गार्बेज। और क्या है? गाइडेंस ऑफ हिज ओनर, वो भी सही है। Therefore, आंसर डी इज वेरी मच करेक्ट। व्हाट आर द हैजर्ड्स ऑफ वर्किंग इन द ग्लास बैंगल इंडस्ट्री? ये देखिए इधर पॉइंट हिसाब से मतलब लिखा है एमसीक्यू ए बी सी डी मतलब लिखा है, तो आप जब लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन लिखेंगे ना या अगर ये पॉइंट भी देंगे तब आपका आंसर सही होगा। व्हाट आर द हैजर्ड्स मतलब हम अभी बहुत सारे हैजर्ड्स का मतलब क्या है? हैजर्ड्स का मतलब है डेंजर। हम अभी डेंजर का बात करेंगे। व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग इन द ग्लास ब्लोइंग इंडस्ट्री, है ना, ग्लास ब्लोइंग इंडस्ट्री, व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग इन द फर्नेस, then you'll have to undergo lot of suffering. What are they? poor health, आपका हेल्थ मतलब खराब होगा, आपका ब्रीथिंग प्रॉब्लम होगा, रेस्पिरेटरी प्रॉब्लम होगा, आपका इंपेयर्ड विजन मतलब आपका जो विजन है, आपका सीइंग कैपेसिटी जो है वो भी मतलब क्या होगा, वो भी कम हो जाएगा। मिजरेबल लाइफ, आपका जीवन भी बहुत दुखी होगा। तो when all this are correct, therefore option D is very correct. Let us go on. Next question, question number 27. Who employs the local families of Firuzabad? तो कौन एम्प्लॉय करते हैं? Who employs them? Bureaucrats? No. Merchant? No. Politician? No. The glass blowing industry means the owner of the glass blowing industry. They engage them, they employ or they engage them in the glass blowing industry. What is the function of the glass blowing industry? उनका क्या function क्या है? When you are talking about the glass blowing industry, what is the function of it? उसमें क्या काम करते हैं? To make windows? No. To make doors? No. To mold glass? No. To mold glass and make colorful bangles, है ना, ग्लास को मॉडलिंग करना है। ग्लास को मतलब क्या करना है? मॉडलिंग का मतलब है शेप देना है, और शेप दे के मतलब उसको मतलब क्या करना है? उसको बैंगल बनाने के लिए, कलरफुल बैंगल बनाने के लिए शेप देना है। Then let us go for question number 29. Question number 29. What makes the working condition of the children worst in the glass industry? या वर्किंग कंडीशन जो है वो उनका मतलब बहुत खराब है। वो क्या चीज है जो वर्किंग कंडीशन को बहुत खराब करते हैं? तो उसमें अभी बहुत सारे फैक्टर है। वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट व्हाट? वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द फैक्टर्स। देयर आर मेनी फैक्टर्स, देयर आर मेनी रीजंस ऑफ द वर्स्ट कंडीशन ऑफ द ग्लास ब्लोइंग इंडस्ट्री। तो क्या क्या मतलब फैक्टर थे? व्हाट आर द फैक्टर्स? सो द फैक्टर्स वेयर डार्क एंड dingy cells. dingy का मतलब क्या है? नैरो, NARROW, नैरो। वो मतलब क्या था? उसमें मतलब लाइटिंग का मतलब सिस्टम बहुत कम था। ये पॉइंट 1। dazzling and sparkling of the welding, WEEI, welding light. so जब आप वेल्डिंग करेंगे, है ना, when welding, then there will be dazzle, okay, some light will come, okay, some flashlight will come, and there will be sparkling light will come, and that will do what? That will impair, that will impair your vision, है ना, that will have effect on your vision. High temperature, working in the high temperature also is very hazardous. Therefore all these options are correct. Therefore option D is very correct. Let us come to question number 30. Let us go. Question number 30. What excuse do the ragpickers give for not wearing chappals? So once again we are coming to the first part. So we are again talking about the Saheb and his company. So there are the group of the people. There are a group of the people, and the ragpickers. What the ragpickers did? They did not have the chappal. And when the writer was asking the question, when the writer Anisidam was asking the question, बच्चों आप लोग चप्पल क्यों नहीं पहनते हैं, है ना? They were giving what? Many causes, okay? Many reasons they put forward, है ना? बहुत सारे रीजन मतलब वो दिए थे। वो रीजन क्या थे? वो एक्सक्यूज थे, है ना? वो मतलब क्या थे? एलिवी थे, है ना? तो सिंपल मतलब क्या थे? वो कुछ, है ना, झूठ मूठ का मतलब बजाय मतलब दे दिया, तो वो क्या था, एक है कि मतलब मम्मी ने पहनने नहीं देता है, mothers mothers does not mothers do not give them the permission, no interest, they are telling that no, we are not interested also. So they again they are telling, no, these are our tradition of staying barefoot. Therefore all these reasons are correct. These are the reasons put forward by different children in the Seemapuri, in the slum area, that is the Seemapuri. Now let us come to again to the question from the second part, question number 31. Who is the Mukesh? So abhi hum, so Mukesh is what? He is the hero or the protagonist. Protagonist in which part? Part number 2. Therefore, what is his profession? He actually belongs to the family of the Bengal makers. तो अभी देखते हैं. He was a student, no, पढ़ाई नहीं किया. He was a worker, of course correct. लेकिन कैसा वर्कर है वो हमको मालूम नहीं है, तो गलत है. Bengal maker ये करेक्ट है, बिल्कुल करेक्ट है. Ragpicker, no, we are not talking about Seemapuri. We are talking about Firozabad. We are talking about Uttar Pradesh. Therefore, let us come to question number 32. What are the reasons for the migration of the people from village to the city into the lesson? ये देखते हैं. अभी हम बहुत सारे मतलब राइटर को मतलब हम लोग जानते हैं, जो राइटर ने मतलब बोलते हैं कि देखिए द विलेज स्कूल मास्टर है ना, विलेज स्कूल मास्टर आपने पढ़े हैं, तो उसमें मतलब क्या है कि विलेज स्कूल मास्टर में यू विल आल्सो सी दैट देयर इज अ विलेज स्कूल एंड नाउ द कंडीशन ऑफ द विलेज स्कूल इज वेरी मिजरेबल, नो चिल्ड्रन गो देयर. So majority of the people of the village went to the town. That means this tells about the migration of the people from the village to the town in search of what? In search of food. तो इसमें भी हम देखेंगे what are the reasons for the migration of the people from the village to the city. किस लिए माइग्रेट करते हैं? तो पहली तो बात है मतलब खाना के लिए है ना, for food. Food is the gut for the people, and therefore where there will be sufficient food, where there will be facility of the work, therefore people will migrate to that place. Sweeping of houses and fields by storms. ये अभी देखते हैं उसका जो बैकग्राउंड थे, क्या कारण थे, because of migration of the people एक प्लेस से, एक कंट्री से दूसरा कंट्री तक माइग्रेट करना, एक एरिया से दूसरा कंट्री तक मतलब दूसरा एरिया में माइग्रेट करना, उसका बजाय मतलब क्या था, ये लेसन में हमको देखने को मिला कि दिस वाज द नेचुरल कैलेमिटी in the form of the storm. Let us go for next question. Question number 33. Let us go for it. Question number 33. What compels the worker into the Bengal industry of Firozabad to poverty? तो ये क्वेश्चन हम पहले डिस्कस किया, फिर भी और एक बार देखते हैं. कास्ट एंड एंसेस्ट्रल प्रोफेशन, ये सही है ना, तो उनका मतलब ये है ना, ये फैटलिज्म का मतलब कंसेप्ट है, फैटलिज्म. सो फैटलिज्म में बच्चों मतलब देखना, ये फैटलिज्म एक्चुअली कम्स फ्रॉम व्हाट? फैट मींस व्हाट? लक मींस व्हाट? डेस्टिनी, है ना, डेस्टिनी मतलब तकदीर. तो वो लोग मतलब क्या सोचते थे कि देखो, सो जो हम जो मतलब जॉब करते हैं, हमारा जो प्रोफेशन है, दिस इज रिलेटेड टू व्हाट? आवर डेस्टिनी ऑल्सो. तो बच्चों ये क्या सही है गलत है? ये तो गलत है ना. Once a profession has a no connection, no link with his birth. Therefore, so this is the kind of the fatalism they were suffering from, and because of that they were telling that yes, this actually job is the God given profession. That was the concept, traditional concept of the people who never went to the school. Let us see the question. What compares the worker in the Bengal industry of Firozabad to poverty? Poverty का कारण क्या था, वजह क्या था? कास्ट एंड द एंसेस्ट्रल प्रोफेशन. कास्ट एकदम बिल्कुल था, वो कास्ट का कुछ कंसेप्ट था, और एंसेस्ट्रल प्रोफेशन मतलब पिताजी ग्रैंडफादर उसका जो प्रोफेशन था, ट्रेडिशनल जो प्रोफेशन था, वो भी एक के बजाय था. करम है ना, दे एक्चुअली हैड द बिलीफ ऑन द करम थ्योरी, है ना, कि ये हमारा करम है, and this karma actually comes from the birth. That is also galat, है ना, but answer is correct. Bureaucrats and politicians, है ना, they are also the great force because of which people remain poor, because the politician gives the promise, they did not keep it. The bureaucrats were not serious about the problem, and therefore this particular problem persists. This particular problem persists or continue. Therefore, option D, all of this is correct. Now let us go to next question. Question number 34. The city of Firozabad is famous for, बहुत easy question है. या आपको केवल डायरेक्ट डेटाबेस क्वेश्चन है, लिटरल क्वेश्चन, टेक्सचुअल क्वेश्चन, इसमें कुछ देखना नहीं है. द सिटी ऑफ फिरोजाबाद, फिरोजाबाद के बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं, है ना. फॉर कस्टिज्म नो, फॉर रैगपिकर्स नो, फॉर पॉवर्टी नो, फॉर बैंगल मेकिंग इंडस्ट्री, ये बहुत तो सही है. नाउ लेट अस सी द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 35. फिरोजाबाद इज द सेंटर ऑफ व्हिच इंडस्ट्री. उसमें एक इंडस्ट्री है, कौन सी इंडस्ट्री है? ग्लास ब्लोइंग इंडस्ट्री, है ना. ग्लास ब्लोइंग इंडस्ट्री, नॉट टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री, not furniture industry, not cotton industry. So let us go to next question. Question number 36. Let us go for it. Question number 36. So we'll be talking about Mukesh attitude different from that of his family. How is Mukesh attitude different from that of his family? So attitude, उनका जो view था, वो view मतलब क्या था? So it was different from the other people. So other member of the family had what sort of view or attitude? वो view मतलब क्या था? Traditional view था, है ना. वो मतलब क्या, मतलब believe क्या था? परंपरा के ऊपर मतलब उनका विश्वास ज्यादा था. Therefore it was traditional, means old. But his view was modern view. His view was transitional view. Transitional view, and therefore he believed he was very much daring, firm and clear. वो मतलब उनका confident था, वो बहुत brave था, बहुत confident था और very clear था in his vision. ये सही आंसर है. Being a fighter, fighter का बात हम नहीं कर रहे हैं. Being a coward, वो भी नहीं है. Not clear, ये गलत है. Therefore option A, being daring, firm and clear. Okay. Mukesh attitude was very different from the other. He was very clear, he was very daring and firm, he was very strong or firm. Let us come to next question. Question number 37. Let us go for question number 37. What is the means of survival in Seemapuri? है ना. survive का मतलब क्या है? SURVIV. survive का मतलब क्या है? outlive, है ना. कुछ कैलामिटी होता है और नॉर्मली टू लीड अ लाइफ आल्सो इज अ काइंड ऑफ कैलामिटी, नॉट लेस देन कैलामिटी. देयरफॉर वो जो सर्वाइवल होता है मतलब ना सस्टेनेंस, मींस ऑफ सस्टेनेंस, है ना. आपको जीवित रखने के लिए क्या मींस है, वो सर्वाइवल है. व्हाट इज दैट इन दिस सीमापुरी? तो बहुत सिंपल है, रैग पिकिंग, है ना. रैग पिकिंग इज द पर्टिकुलर मींस ऑफ सर्वाइवल, है ना. वही एक जरिया था जीने के लिए. Let us see the next question. Next question number 38. Here we go. Let us continue. Question number 38. What is the metaphorical symbol of Seemapuri in the lesson? अभी देखिए ये question है ना, बहुत interesting question है. What is the metaphorical symbol? है ना. सीमापुरी जो है, सीमापुरी ऐसे एक प्लेस है जो प्लेस में मतलब क्या होता है, उसमें क्या है? There is a poverty. There is illiteracy, है ना. There is illiteracy. There is a malpractice. There is malpractice. Means all sort of wrongdoing happens there. People do not get proper food, hygiene, help. Okay, they suffer from any kind of a disease. They did not have the proper house. Only there are hutmen. They are poor. Simply speaking, this Seemapuri is not less than what? Not less than her, है ना. तो S मीन्स सीमापुरी जो था वो मतलब इनडायरेक्टली स्पीकिंग और इन मेटाफोरिकल टर्म्स इट इज कंपेयर टू द हेल. तो अभी देखते हैं. पोवर्टी वो तो थे, लेकिन ये मतलब सिंबॉलिकल मीनिंग नहीं था. एक्सप्लॉइटेशन वो भी थे. एंजॉयमेंट ये तो बिल्कुल नहीं थे. देयरफॉर इट वाज अ लिटिल हेल, है ना. एक छोटा सा मतलब क्या है? एक जहन्नम. दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ स्मॉल हेल जस्ट नियर द कैपिटल सिटी ऑफ इंडिया. व्हाट इज मुकेश ड्रीम? अभी देखिए सभी आदमी का मतलब ड्रीम होता है ना, सभी का ड्रीम होता है, सभी का विजन होता है, सभी का एम्बिशन होता है, सभी का एम होता है। तो ये मुकेश का जो एम था वो क्या था? ये बहुत सिंपल है। मुकेश का एम था टू बिकम ए मोटर मैकेनिक, टू बिकम ए मोटर मैकेनिक। देयरफॉर टू बी ए रॉक दुष्ट नहीं होने क्या था? टू बी ए मर्चेंट वो भी नहीं था, टू बी ए डॉक्टर वो भी नहीं था, ओनली टू बी मोटर मैकेनिक, बिकॉज मोटर मैकेनिक का बिकम वेरी रियलिस्टिक। वो मतलब उनके लिए बहुत रियलिस्टिक है, वो बहुत रियलिस्टिक है। राइटर ने उनको मतलब पूछा कि हाँ मुकेश, सो व्हाई यू डू नॉट वांट टू बी द पायलट? ओके, व्हाई डू नॉट वांट टू बी पायलट ऑफ एन एयरबस और एरोप्लेन? देन हिज आंसर वाज वेरी मच रियलिस्टिक। उन्होंने बोला कि मैडम, सो देयर आर फ्यू एरोप्लेन फ्लाइज over the sky of Firozabad. Therefore, he doesn't want to be the pilot of an aeroplane. He wants to be the motor mechanic, because many motor buses fly fly into the roads of Firozabad. Let us see the next question. Question number 40. Let us go for it. So this is the last question. What a change did Anisha Jang see in Saheb when she saw him standing by the gate of the neighborhood club? So one day the writer Anisha Jang was observing. So what was the observation? That Saheb Alamus was waiting in front of the gate of the neighborhood club. So there is a club in the neighborhood, and in the club some game was going on, and at that time, so our Saheb was standing just by touching to the fencing of the club. So let us see what change did Anisha Jang see in Saheb. Saheb का बीच में क्या मतलब चेंज दिखाई दिया उस दिन, जिस दिन मतलब उन्होंने एक गेम वॉच कर रहे थे। क्या गेम? So the game of the tennis, where in the neighboring club. Let us see what are the changes. As if lost his freedom. ऐसे लगा था कि हाँ अरे भाई हमको तो मतलब फ्रीडम हमको खो है ना, हमारा पास नहीं है, आई हैव लॉस्ट द फ्रीडम। लॉस्ट ओनरशिप वो भी मतलब लगे थे, लॉस्ट जॉय वो भी लगे थे। सी therefore all the options are correct. All this option D is very correct. Now we'll be discussing only one question here, one more question. So let us go for the question now. Let us go for the question. तो ये देखते क्वेश्चन नंबर नेक्स्ट. व्हाट बोदर्स द ऑथर मोस्ट अबाउट द बैंगल मेकर्स? सो बैंगल मेकर्स के लिए मतलब क्या चीज था वो जो सबसे मतलब उसको मतलब डिस्टर्ब किए थे, उसको मतलब पेस्टर किए थे, है ना, उसको मतलब क्या दुख दिए थे? तो वो था मतलब क्या? देखते हैं. द लेबर लॉ वो भी नहीं, द बिहेवियर ऑफ द फैक्ट्री ओनर्स वो भी नहीं है, द एफ्लुएंस ऑफ द लैंडलॉर्ड वो भी नहीं है, बट द स्टिग्मा ऑफ पॉवर्टी एंड द कास्ट, है ना. एक स्टिग्मा था, एक कलंक था, है ना, एक ब्लैक स्पॉट था, व्हाट इज दैट? दैट दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ पीपल आर disrespected people. They have the profession is fixed, they are very illiterate and they do not deserve any respect. So this is the kind of the stigma, है ना, these are kind of the stigma they were suffering from. What is the stigma? The stigma of the poverty and that of the caste. That means they live in the caste of the Bengal makers and they cannot take the profession, any other profession. That was what actually bothers Anisha Jang the most. Let us see the last question. Another question we will see. Let us see. One wonders if he had achieved what many have failed to achieve in their lifetime. He has a roof over his head. These lines were said in reference to the condition of. किसका condition का मतलब बारे में ये बात हो रही थी. So it is certainly the what is that? These lines were said in reference to the condition of the elderly woman's old husband, Mukesh's father, the Bengal factory owners नहीं है, Mukesh elder brother नहीं है, Mukesh father नहीं है, elderly woman's old husband. So elderly women's old husband, what was the achievement? So what was the achievement? Or achievement was that he achieved what? He achieved to repair or mend the house. What was a dream for many other people, and therefore it was not less than achievement. Therefore, this is the surprise. This is the wonder. If anybody has a perform or achieve compared to the father of Mukesh. Therefore, let us see one more question, one more important question. We'll see and then cover up. So let us go. So another symbol we'll be talking about. It is very simple one. Which of the following objects or the objects are below best served as a symbol of Indian women's shuhak? Again we are talking about the symbol, means indirectly it talks about. What is that? So we are talking about the bangle. So bangle is a direct answer. These are there in the book also. Therefore, bangle is the symbol of Indian women's shuhak. It is not the bindi, not the sindoor, or it is not the henna dyed hand. So answer is bangle. Bangle is the symbol of Indian women's shuhak. Therefore, my dear children, this is the end of the lesson. I hope you understood and enjoyed the lesson and you understood in detail. And this lesson will be very transformative to you when you go through the lesson and learn the new vocabulary and also learn about the writer and his writing. With this message, let us conclude. Thanks to all. We'll meet you once again in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Have a very good day.